Do you feel the need to show off your big guns or rather any wonderful thing you own or have been in? The exotic destinations you visited, the home you live in or the home of a close friend, your college degrees, trophies, cars, shoes, designer outfits and clothes like Louboutins, or maybe your muscles and how ripped you are. Unfortunately, it may mean that you've been sucked into this world where flexing is the most important thing, the flex culture, or put differently, the culture of showing off. You may be frowning now, but it didn't start with you, and we don't blame you for getting sucked into it. However, we must talk about the dangers of flex culture and why it's time to stop. Flex culture, the culture of feeling or flexing or showing off wealth, brands, or education level, has been around for a long time, but it isn't a good thing. While this attitude and belief system are deeply rooted in our society, it's gotta be stopped. Of course, reinforcement of this belief by the hip-hop culture, which has been around for the longest time, makes it harder to get rid of. Meek Mill's flexin'. Spent 100 racks on my chain, all them hoes know my name, cause I be flexin'. And the late Pop Smoke's flexing, I did 15 on my check-ins. Big Louboutins when I'm steppin'. Big 38 for the weapon. Perpetuating the flexing spirit, making it harder to stop the flex culture. So, why do we need to flex so much? What is this flex culture all about, and why is it harmful? Malicious intent. In some instances, there's nothing wrong with flexing. Often, flex culture is considered unhealthy and unacceptable when the person flexing is doing it out of malice. Unfortunately, malicious flexing is quite rampant across social media because it's done by individuals who often lie about their wealth or riches. In these cases, flexing is a way of telling the world that my life is better than yours and that you're beneath me. And others show off because it gives them validation that they're doing well, even when they're not. And so, with these intentions, flexing can be something negative. Then you have the influencers who keep flexing, sharing all about the endless trips that they go on and the offerings and perks from premium brands that they get to enjoy. While they don't always comment much on them, these influencers flexing on their fans, often young adults and teens, do more harm than good, making their followers and the rest of the internet believe that they're wealthy, when they really aren't. Sadly, very few of these celebrities and influencers are wealthy. Most have more debt than wealth. We should also mention how most actually wealthy millionaires and billionaires hardly ever flaunt their wealth. For instance, Mark Zuckerberg or even Elon Musk. The need for external validation drives flex culture too. Despite the hardships and the financial insecurities that many people have been going through since the pandemic, it's sad to see how influencers and celebrities keep flexing on the rest of the world. It may seem like they're doing it to continue seeking outside validation, but this is in poor taste. At a time when people were worried about losing their lives and their livelihoods, celebrities and influencers flaunting their huge, luxurious homes and fully stocked pantries with everything they need for years, flexing was, and remains, the worst thing that they could do. In other words, flexing is a whole load of BS, and it must be stopped. In most cases, flexing on social media, whether on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, or even YouTube, is terrible for the mental health of the rest of us and off of social media. The aggrandizing and pompous only make the world a sadder place. Ultimately, we're human, and despite wanting to be happy about people winning, such feelings of happiness don't come easily when your life is crumbling under your feet. Unrealistic expectations. Flexing might be unintentionally malicious, but it hurts many others because it sets in motion unrealistic expectations, forcing people to try harder to attain these goals, only that these intentions may be too hard to attain and may lead to more psychological effects. Toxic positivity is just toxic. The pandemic and the ensuing financial difficulties, then and now, have seen a rise in an extra layer of positivity, with most of the content shared online encouraging people to stay positive and be kind. But what lies beneath the surface of these platitudes and obsession with staying positive and being happy? Is there something like being too happy? It turns out that although the messages can be uplifting, trying to be happy and content all of the time can be damaging to one's mental health, especially because you have to ignore your other feelings and state of things. The overgeneralized feeling of being too optimistic and happy, even in dire situations, is too harmful in the end, even when you don't have it in you. The good vibes only mindset only makes it harder for you to tackle your real problems, which can lead to dissociation and later even worse, psychological harm. You cannot be too happy when dealing with depression, anxiety, or grief. We have to be realistic, and flexing that you're always happy, life circumstances notwithstanding, is just too sad and harmful. It creates a lot of pressure to remain productive and also makes people feel flawed, isolated, shame, inadequate, and inauthentic, since one is forced to suppress their emotions in the face of adversity. This is not how humans are meant to live, and anything that goes against the demands of nature will result in worse, deep-seated, and long-lasting health effects. At the end of the day, people lie so much, especially on social media, and it's time to stop using other people's apparent success as a measure of our progress and how we're doing in life. You're probably doing better than them, so don't be so hard on yourself.